Hello, this is Vulturefire, and for today's video, I am now on 7013. For the benefit of those of you watching, I have not actually recorded any videos in several days. I have been otherwise busy, but it means that I have done a lot of runs that I wasn't able to record that were figuring out different things. And this new patch, one of the main things is we now have access to S6, which means it's possible to do runs with all 6 shrines active. Now, one note on S6 is that unlike, there's not really a major step up from S5 because you still only have 3 idols active per area, but it is still harder than S5, and I have struggled a bit on my last 2 attempts. The most recent one, Cruelty has changed slightly in this patch, and I'm pretty sure this is going to change again, so I want to go ahead and make sure that I have shown the current Idol of Cruelty card. That is very brutal. That was a large part of why I had problems against Maul with my fairly slow deck. So the old card that used to, there was this removed card that was gain curse 3, or in area 1 it was gain curse 4, in area 2 it was gain curse 3 twice, and in area 3 it was gain curse 4 twice. And that Idol Cruelty now applies Doom, and it also now has this card, which is you gain curse 3. It starts as curse 2, corrupt yourself once. Area 2 goes to curse 3, corrupt yourself once. But in area 3 it goes up to gain curse 3, corrupt yourself 2 times. And so this means that if you end your turn without any purity, or with only 1 purity because Doom will strip it off, and then Maw curses you, you can take 50 or 60 damage from this card, which, yeah, not a great time, especially when it comes up, once the removed cards are out. That's going to come up every 5 turns and do massive damage. And I just was not really prepared to deal with that, and it causes problems for me. Anyway, so that is neither here nor there. Oh, the other note here is that Emptiness has now changed. I still don't like it. It's still made of paint, but it no longer dooms, which means that the Dispel is less of a problem unless Cruelty is also active. And the Dispel is also now its removed card, but it now dispels 3, 4, or 5 times depending on area. But after it dispels you, that's just gone. Emptiness also picked up the Enfeebled and Weak card that used to be on Cruelty, and the reason I assume why is that otherwise the corruption from Cruelty would lead to the Enfeebled being on literally 100% of the time in Area 3. Because you would be, if you got hit by Enfeebled, you would be at 3, and then because once the removed cards are gone, it has 5 cards, and so it plays. So basically every 5 turns, you will gain Enfeebled 3, and then be corrupted twice. So yeah, that's 100% uptime on Enfeebled because you get Enfeebled 5 for every 5 turns. So to prevent that got moved over here. Anyway, all of that rambling out of the way, let's talk about the deck that I'm playing today. It is not I'm playing a Nayema deck. Okay, so I still don't really get how to play Nayema effectively, but I am leveled. So I've recorded, this is going to be the fourth Nayema run I've recorded, but I've done several that are not on camera. Several cards have changed since the last video that I did. One of the big things here is Resonating Blast is now deal 8 damage to an enemy and gain 2 mana, and then increase the damage dealt by all of your resonating cards by 8 this turn, which means that it works better with things that are creating temporary copies of it. So like if you Starfall it, you get value. And it also works, of course, well with Strength of the Sun, because if you have Strength of the Sun on it, then it fully pays for itself. So our goal here is to try and do shenanigans with that, but I have no clue exactly how this deck is going to go. It is kind of a train wreck, kind of a mess, probably going to all explode. We're all going to die, etc. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I don't remember if I recorded a run with the new Heroic Recovery. So it is very, very good now because it can transform anything in, but it did get nerfed this patch, so that last patch it was only 1 mana and the Heroic Resolves were free, and now it is 2 and then 1 mana, and Heroic Resolve Plus Heroic Resolve now costs a mana, and Heroic Resolve Plus now only draws 1. So that card got massively nerfed. I still think it's probably very good, but I haven't really tried it yet. Aside from that, Yeah, let's get into it. So, step 3, obviously, we are going to enable 3 shrines. Let's start by seeing what random throws us. I do not like hunt. I don't want to do cruelty plus emptiness. Let's see, emptiness was enabled first. We'll try new emptiness. I've tried new cruelty, and it is kind of brutal. So we're going to try with these 3, and we will see how it goes. So as far as bosses go, we are fighting Maw. So that is something to be concerned with. We are fighting one of these 2. Ruby Dragon. So emptiness hands out purity, which can be useful against Ruby Dragon. Ether Rain can be useful. I don't know that we care about any of the Ruby Dragon cards a ton, but we don't care about the Valley Guardian cards either, I think. From these, again, like, I don't know that we care about either of the cards that the bosses drop. I deal with emptiness either way. Here we're dealing with hunger either way, and we're dealing with endurance here. Emptiness here. I don't really know exactly which cards I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to play this game. I don't know how to play this character. Everything is lies. I'm a hack. I think that's the main point. Battered Ramparts is less likely to give us turns off to get things working. But Thornberry Chieftain's Bleed could be really devastating to us. So we're going to go here and see how it happens. See what happens. Okay. So this card is one I want to try. I think it is good in exactly the situation where you have enough wits and enough mana boost that you can create Lunar Whispers and Ritual of Mind and have that go off. But regrowth is more key to our plan, so we're going to take that. This is a trap. Well, yeah, I think it's a trap. This seems potentially good. I expect to mess up and take a bunch of damage, so it's helpful in that case. I think artillery is probably fine. Excuse me. Trying to think. I'm currently thinking we're going to go up through here. As far as cards go, we might want expansion. We don't want, because it's just cheap draw. We obviously don't really care about either of these. Oh, I haven't actually shown you the deck. Not really. So the key idea here is we've got Resonating Blast. We've got Runic Study to get wits and mana boost. We've got Read the Skies to give us astral cards. And then our goal is to kind of just like kludge our way to a victory, which I'll admit, not the most inspiring of game plans, but we'll see how it works out for us. Okay, so we didn't draw. Oh, so the other note here is that this interface has changed. So now we can see that we are in Moon Stance, and if we play a card, we will go into Star Stance. Or if we play whatever, we're going to go into Star Stance. I think we're going to start with this. We definitely need to get into Star Stance. Reclamation, not terribly useful for us. Trying to think what we want to get back. Tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to Starlit Reflection. Just so that we can get... Because the problem is I need to spend mana to get... I need to get to 0 so that I can draw a spell. Yeah, I think we have to do this. It's not my favorite play, but I think it's the best option we have. So we can do this to give us the mana boost and the wits, and then we can just deal with that. And I don't think we want to reclaim either of those. So yeah, kind of an unfortunate turn, just because we did not get really any of what we were looking for. All right, there goes... Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, because there goes all of the mana boost we had set up. And most of our wits. And we cannot find for the life of us our Resonating. There's a Resonating Blast. Okay, so now trying to think if we want to do this first. Yes, we're going to Strength of the Sun on the Resonating Blast. So it now gets us 4 mana. We need to upgrade the Resonating Blast ASAP. And it increases the stuff that it does by... Oh, we're just going to run out of mana here, aren't we? What's on top of our deck? I could have checked where the Resonating Blast works. Occurs to me now. This is really awkward. We're not going to have the mana we need. Wait, I can fix this. Because we only need 2 more mana, I think. So now we have this. So we're going to play this. It's going to give us our mana back. We're going to regrowth it. It's now substantially more devastating. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to get back another time because we had to give stuff up. But and we can't get enough mana to get whatever out. Just hope, yeah, okay, Starbolt enough. Starbolt is just barely enough. All right. Oh, I should have played out that pocket stand there. Fortunately, it was once this back one was not attacking that turn. Oop. So far the deck is not really working the way I would like it to. Definitely, mana is a bit of an issue. Hard to say how much of this just like really awkward shuffle orders, and how much of this is down to whatever. I'd like to get that out. Part of it is also that like I had this plan that was going to involve like the mana boost and the wit, and that just like got completely shredded by whatever being a jerk. So we're gonna save that so we can transform into, so New Moon now transforms into Half Moon, which is gain 2 mana and mana boost 2, and then the final stage is Full Moon, which is gain 4 mana, trigger mana boost 4 times. One of the important notes here is that it will not transform just for playing it. So we need to really change stance twice. So we are going to need to play this one out, I think, without. So we need to change stance. We are going to Starlit Reflection. Am I going to even have enough mana for this? Is the question. Yes, this. No. Yes, no, yes, no. So once we get this upgraded, it's going to get a lot easier. But it looks like we are unfortunately not going to have a great turn here. But it's not going to be terrible. So we're going to Strength of the Sun, our Resonating Blast. Oh, but we have to deal with the evasion. I didn't think about that. That completely ruins everything. But that's fine. We can do this next turn. Since we've now used up our Starlit Reflection, we may as well use that. And yeah, we could regrowth it, but we wouldn't be able to afford it, so it's basically irrelevant. I could regrowth the pocket stand and play it again, but I don't think that's worth it. Okay, we're now in the wrong stance. We are going to do this, which will get us some mana, and give us the ability to swap stances, which will let us Starfall, which will get us back our Resonating Blast. There we go. So it worked out, but it was obviously super awkward. I think we just kind of want another read this, guys. We definitely want more mana, though. That is kind of an issue. All right, so these guys are smaller, which should make this a little easier in theory, but we'll see if in practice that ends up happening. Top cover deck is a New Moon. Which is relevant for Starfalling. We can Starfall into Runic Study. That works. And then, sorry, playing this will draw us the Pocket Sand. I think we are going to Starlight. I could regrowth that. That seems very bad. Okay. So I kind of want to regrowth that at this point. For some reason I thought that was the other thing. Oh. We do now have to play, we are kind of priced into having to play that first. And then we just, oh, we have this still, which we could bring back. I think we don't. I think we just, we're going to do that. We're just going to leave you at 1. And then we'll just weaken you. And that's fine. gets a little annoying here. And we have no way to get back those resonating blasts right now. It's tough. We'd like to get this mana boost out, but that requires us to have a spell, which we don't currently have a good way of getting. Oh, we can do this. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to Lunar Whispers. And we can change stance, which means we can now Starlight. I think we do want that back. Okay. And then we can set this up for next turn. I want to do that. Oh, right, I can do this. Sequencing. And then this leaves us in an okay position for next turn. Okay. The enemies have opportunists, but it is not going to help them. Yeah, we're going to Strength of the Sun, a Resonating Blast. So this one, yeah, like I said, is going to do absolutely nothing for us because Hidden is a 100% evade chance for enemies, of course. There we go. Alright. This is pretty good for us. I think we kind of just need the mana, though. Because mana has been a major problem. Let's try talking. I don't know what all the options here are. Oop. Okay. Trying to think. How do we play this? All right, this gives us mana back, so we can do that into this, and that works out. It doesn't do much for us as far as Resonating Blast goes. So the other note I'm learning here, Runic Study, awkward with the Reclamations, which I should have known, but I do not always think things through. So we have a Read the Skies on top. We do have plenty of whatever. Okay, I'm just going to transform that. Oh, I should have played this out first, so that I could have gotten it back. So this is doing extra damage because we did play one of them already. And then we can possibly Sunbolt this to death. Oh, no, because we don't have the mana, and I have to decide if I want to save this. I think I want to go ahead and try Sunbolting to death. Okay, but it's going to die to the burn, which is good enough. I think we swapped it. Oh, I should have done that. Well, swapping to Lunar was largely so that we could get out. Because we don't really want to start the turn in Lunar, which is kind of weird because normally I would want to, but this particular deck doesn't. Yeah, mana's still a problem because we can get back whatever, but we can't play it. But we could. This works. Because that'll give us the stronger... Oh, I thought we had enough mana, and I was wrong. For some reason, I thought we had enough from that. Well, Starlight. That's going to give us enough mana. There we go. Figured it out. Solved the puzzle. Oof. I don't think we can afford to use this. It's just so expensive. I want to be able to use it, though. I don't know that I like bracers enough. That gives us just, like, at minimum, like an 18% damage bonus. Still probably like 20 to 25% damage bonus at the end. All right, yeah, we're going to go here and into there. So that event, if we take that option, is just a fight. It doesn't have any special reward. Like I said, I'm still kind of trying to figure out some of this. I have not played all of these that much. All right, we're going to do Donk. And I think we're going to Astral Alignment. This doesn't give us much 30, but it does give us stuff, so I'll take it. And we could Astral Align, or we just take Lunar Armor. And I'll start its next turn in Spell Mode, which I don't hate. Or in Sun Mode. So we play that. I maybe should be considering evolving these. I can play this and then get us into Sun Mode. I don't know how much that does for us, but it doesn't hurt. Kind of awkward position here because ideally I would want to actually play this Shrivel out, but I can't. But getting that Frail out is actually still kind of helpful because otherwise, because it saves us 15 damage basically. Okay, this is not the stance we want to be in. Oh, we could get Shield out here if we can't get the kill. I don't hate that. Let's read the skies. Lunar Whispers. I think we're actually going to regrowth the Read the Skies. And then we're going to play it again after we swap stance. Okay. So we got Half Moon still. We cannot get the mana we really want. The best thing we can do is that. And again, we have this awkward thing where we can't play... Whatever, we're definitely going to cut one of those. So Strength of the Sun is not going to be an Astral card next patch, I believe is what was said. But for now, it still is. So for now, the shenanigans can continue. So Sublime Blast. Not terrible. It does draw its cards and pays for itself. Mostly. I think we take it. I like the idea of getting some growth out of it. The main thing here is just getting those upgrades on the Resonating Blast because that just makes our life so much easier. Alright, we can only get 1 mana out of... getting more max shield is actually very good for Nayema because it means that you can get more mana out of the Lunar Armor. This is awkward. So my problem is now I'm kind of stuck playing that now. Oh, no, I'm not. Because I am clever. Although now regrowth doesn't do much for me, but it does mean I have a decent amount of mana going into next turn, which I don't hate. Alright. So this is in the deck to transform Idle Stones, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. We have a Resonating Blast in hand. We can get a Starlit Reflection. And then we can Strength of the Sun, our Resonating Blast. So now we have 2 Resonating Blasts queued to go. That's not a terrible thing to do. Not our best turn, but certainly we've had a lot worse things happen. And we have a Half Moon ready to go now, which is going to help us with prepping things for that. All right, Moon Mode is not where we want to be. Unless... Actually, just kidding. We do super want to be in Moon Mode because we want to Lunar Whispers. And this will draw us those 2 cards. It's not bad. And it pays for itself because of the Witch Generation. We are going to swap stances. So if we do this, it's going to drop us to 0 briefly, which is going to let us pocket sand. Brain twisty. So yeah, I think keeping these half moons going is kind of the way to go right now. Okay. Absolutely, we need the strength. We could strength the other one, technically, but it's not super efficient. Yeah, here we are in this awkward position again where it's like I want to get this out. Oh, I meant to do this out, get that out first so that I could. Anyway, poor choices were made. So we have Rosing Blast next turn, so I think I want to be in anything except for Moon Stance, even if we are down in health right now. Okay. What's on top? I read this guy's in a new moon. Alright, getting that out. Okay. I want the Starlight, but we need the... Trying to figure out how this mana works out. Do I have to play this? Should I play that? So we're going to Starlit Reflection, but then we still need to play several more cards. And the mana doesn't quite work out well for what we're trying to do here. Because we can Sots, but it actually ends up being kind of awkward. And we end up having to take a bunch of damage here. Oof, I forgot about the critical. That hurt way more than I was expecting. Alright. Well, I think we have to get... We either have to kill this turn, which I don't think we can do, or we have to get Lunar Armor and the other thing out here. Lunar Whispers. Fortunately, both of those are things we are very happy. I should have done this before I did the other thing, so that I could have gotten the value from it. Oh. Yeah, I think looping this is still more to our advantage than the other thing. And we could draw a card, which should force a shuffle. I think we may as well, because... well, that's awkward. The worst possible thing to have found. Now we are bleeding. We'd really like to finish off things off this turn. Okay. We don't need to get fancy here. We can just do that. Okay, so that was really awkward. Kind of with the Arcane Silence. With Emptiness active, it becomes worse. Versatile Strike is okay. Multiform Focus, I mean, it is mana, and mana is kind of our problem. I think this may end up being what we need. And I think we're absolutely going to upgrade. Like I said, we need to get these upgraded, because the big thing is they now make 3 mana, which means once doubled, they'll generate 6, which means that we get mana when we play them while in whatever mode. I think we got one of the Runic Studies. They are kind of awkward to play. And where am I getting my mana boosts and wits from, aside from them, though? I swear I had something. Oh, it's the half moons. Oh, that's my wit source, so that may have been a mistake, getting rid of those. Alright. I think we go for this elite, because if we can get another upgrade from it, we'd be very happy indeed. Alright. Step 1. Let's do that. Interesting that this guy is starting with attempting to summon with a full board. Give me a second. Anyway. And then, yeah, I think our best bet here is to Lunar Whispers in this mode. And the reason to swap to this mode is it gives us a little bit of extra value. We're now in sun mode. You're absolutely going to strength. This is not the upgraded one. Unfortunately, we do not have any way to loop it right now. Because we can swap modes, but the swap mode won't give us any way to take advantage of that. We can at least do that. Swap modes get more tough. We do want to keep both those in, and we don't need that right now. We absolutely don't need the evasion this turn. We are taking some damage, but it's, I don't think, major enough to justify using whatever. Alright, so now we have half boosts, so whatever, it's no longer a problem. Mana boost is no longer a problem. Which means we can now... Oh, we're not in lunar mode. For some reason I thought we were. Absolutely into Starlit Reflection. I sequenced this wrong. I think we get that. Because the problem is I no longer have a way to get another Astral card up. We don't have access to a... So I could Reclamate the Read the Skies, but that would give up... I played the Starlit Reflection. Yeah, I think we have to do this, unfortunately. Because I think we... Oh, I have... No, because I needed to be able to get... I'm in the right mode. I needed the ability to get a Strength of the Sun. That was the problem. This does also get me access to regrowth, which is good. So... Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also the scaling is now is even higher because this one scales by 8 and this one scales by 10 base. So just completely reasonable things happening here. So we already used our slot. So we're going to do this for value. Mostly make whatever's have a bad day. Oh, I thought whatever was still on top. That's okay. This one also gets boosted. So we should have more Resonating Blast. I don't remember if I put Resonating Blast in the card pool, but I should have because we kind of want another Read this, guys. Because having them is good. This, I think the -1 to fatigue threshold is, well, I normally am really not a fan of that, but it is so good with fixing mana problems for us. So, let's see how it goes. All right, so, unfortunately, we do not have... All right, that also generates this a little bit of wits, but we unfortunately are kind of missing most of our key things here. We can we can sort pull out whatever, but we won't have a way to actually get value. So I think we're going to Reclamate that. Change stance. Lunar. Maybe we'll at least... I should have done that technically in the other one. We can do this actually to, I guess, draw one and gain some mana back and does some damage. That seems okay. Not really the most exciting thing, but we at least get to transform this. We aren't taking any damage this turn, which is important, which is always nice. I don't actually remember to play Necro Transmute last game before ending the fight. That's a mistake. I think that's 4 health that I just didn't get. Well, it does mean that we are currently getting 50% damage from Ring of Lethality, which is not bad. That's also where a lot of our damage comes from that I totally forgot to comment on last time. So I actually think the thing we want to do here is we want to... I don't even know if we want to go into Sun Stance now that I'm looking at it. I think we want a Starlit Reflection. We're going to use a Starfall, but we're going to Resonating Blast, Reclamation, Resonating Blast, Starfall. Unfortunately, we do not have control right now. I think we do not want that to be able to transform into its last form. And I think we're going to change stance and just get the evasion up this turn. And then... Even if this is... Okay, this wasn't the just eat 1,000,000 damage turn. So we were good anyway. Why did I change stance? I wanted to be in Sun Stance this turn. I'm smart. Okay. I think we are going to need this shield potentially. Start the Reflection. This time, though, we are absolutely going to Strength. That gets us a copy. That gets us another copy. And we just throw those out and get kills. Easy. Okay. We don't really need a Void Hardened skin. We might take it. Command Lightning is still very, very good. And I may take that just to have it. And that would be good. But it costs an upgrade, really, because I don't think we can take it without an upgrade, which is awkward. Void Hardened skin, though, I don't hate it. It has Retain, so like we can just hold it and then use it when we need it. I kind of do want to go here and just... Because Artillery's not bad, and I would like the ability to try and force that upgrade. Alright. One of those awkward turns where I kind of am priced into doing that. And then Astral Align at least, though, which is good because I don't super want to spend time in that other mode. We can do this to get mana back, but I don't... It does also get us growth, which I don't hate. And then... Do we just get a little more tough? And then I guess we can swap stances and get more sand out? Sure. No point in sanding the beetle because it's going to... Or the big beetle. Because it's not going to attack for another couple turns. We will stand at that bridge when we get to it. Reclamation. I think we're just prepping for next turn right now. I don't think we're going to plan to actually... Although it's going to be awkward next turn because we're going to be bleeding. Create a Sunbolt. So, but that will be weak on next turn, which is the turn that matters. Yeah, this is an awkward turn to be bleeding. Because this is the turn we are hoping to go off and win. Okay. Trying to think through how we do this. Right, I can play that to get my Lunar Whispers. And I can switch stance. Get a... Oh, Starfall is not the thing I was thinking I wanted, although it is actually perfect here. And now we can just try and get the kill with this. Yep. Goodbye. You are not needed anymore. And we evaded one of those. What's our natural evade chance? Just 5%? Yeah, we just got that from my reward. That's fine. We can just Resonating Blast, bring it back, Resonating Blast. No reason to get fancy here. And I guess staying at this 25% extra damage is actually not bad. Probably the Mental Growth for the mana boost, or taking either of these makes sense, or swapping to try and get the Artillery. Artillery is so much fun. Future Sight is probably better for us, but God, I can't pass up an Artillery. Do we need 4 Read the Skies? I mean, I haven't been sad to draw them. That's the thing. Kind of want to just keep rolling. Okay. This fight could be tough. We'll see. This is another one where it's like, we do have a lot of damage, but it can take us a while to actually get all our pieces working. So we're just going to Starlit Reflection, which will get us back the Pocket Sand. Starlit Reflection. Get back Pocket Sand. And I think we're just going to do Shrivel. And Instar. We have 2 half moons. That makes a full moon. Actually, it doesn't. Full moon is a different thing. What do we not want? We can get that back. I maybe should have just gotten rid of that. No, we've got this. We can do that. We can... Shots isn't doing anything for us this turn. Fire Mastery doesn't... Solar Flare doesn't do anything for us. We're just going to take that. The main thing we want to do here... I think we do actually want to get out this tough and the sturdy. Although we are still going to absolutely get this Void Armor up. So our hope here is that we don't get... Okay, we did not get Dispelled. The Idol of Impious is super obnoxious, but we will persevere. Where are our Resonating Blasts? Oh, one of them is over here. And we don't really want to draw a ton of cards right now. Well, do we? So we need to make hand space for that. What else is in the draw pile? Resonating Blast. Do we need to make? We don't actually need to. We can just get those. That's what we care about, I guess. So we can read the skies, pick up. I don't remember what's on top of the deck. We just get a Starfall, which is actually going to get us right. Gets us back that because that's what I just put on top of the deck. At which point we can read the skies to hit 0 mana. We won't have access to the weakness to the Pocket Sand, but it would cost us a bunch of mana to play that anyway, so whatever. And then now we can Starfall for another focus, which we'll do later. Because you may as well. Could just go again. Why not just keep focusing? But I guess I may as well play that. And we could swap stances twice. I don't know that I care, but I could do it. Let's see, that puts us in... What stance do we want to start next turn in? That's the question. We are going to be frozen to start next turn, which is annoying. There's nothing I can do here about that. I think we'll start next turn in Astral Stance again. Okay, so interesting. That does still transform even when we're frozen. We do want that. But... Yeah, we do want that, even though it is not the good one. I would like to just guarantee I have it next turn. Alright, this is... Keep showing... Like, this showing up while we're frozen is awful, because it means that it doesn't actually get better. We'll pitch that. We will pitch that. Okay, I think the plan here is actually... This is actually a very good turn to do this, because... and we don't have to deal with whatever. We put Regrowth on top of the deck, but I don't think that's great. So I want to get this out. So now I could go to the top, but it wouldn't help because we can actually do this and that, which works out for us, and then we can just spam out Cannon Blast. And because this thing isn't doing anything this turn, and it lost its Frenzy, which is going to work out great for us. This getting frozen thing is less great for us. Although, where is it relative to the... Okay, those two are actually relatively close together, which is good. Alright, we really kind of need to be able to get access to the top of our deck, which we can do, but it's awkward. Because we have to Astral Align twice. But that gets us tough. I think we're just going to set. I think we just actually want to set for next turn, now that I think about it. Now that I sit here looking at it, I realize that I'm dumb, and I don't want to do any of the things I thought I wanted to do. Do I want to... Yeah, that's enough damage, I think, to justify. I absolutely will just loop back that. So we have it. I think we still haven't needed the massive Dispel, which is nice. Okay. Shrivels are really annoying. But we can draw a bunch of cards, so. Debating if we want to keep one of these to transform. Alright, that also draws us cards. I guess we Starlit Reflection. And then we do still want to change stance because we want to get the value of the 30% extra damage for being in Sun stance. And then yeah, we can see that we really don't want to draw that. Well, so we draw the original. No, I don't. We don't want to do that. Could play weak. I don't hit that. Hey. Okay, we are ending up frozen here, which not my favorite thing. Get rid of the pocket sand. Get rid of the... That's actually not that useful to us this turn. We're going to necro-transmute the null stone. Oh, right, we can do that for all the mana we could ever want. What's the Delver deck look like? Not really what we're looking for. Okay, we're just going to use cannons. When in doubt, cannons. Said artillery is just a sweet card. I don't think I like this. I think this is still just super risky to us. Mana Cycle, I kind of like. I don't think I like Star Atlas. Really, I just want more regrowth at this point. Mana Cycle, or I want more like draw ones. Mana Cycle's not bad. We could spin a reroll, but I don't even know what we're looking for here. Like, we're not looking for Debris Strike. Not really looking for any of those. Yeah, Mana Cycle's not bad. That's not the worst, but I think Mana Crystal's better. Absolutely want to upgrade the other Resonating Blast. Probably want to cut something. Instead of just taking a reroll token. The question is what? We could cut one of the Reclamations. They're useful, they're just not the most useful. We could cut a Read the Skies. But they are the most useful. We could have got the Sublime Blast, but I think it's good. I think it's done okay work. We could be lazy. Which is a terrible idea when we're a combo deck that relies on specific cards. But I love making terrible choices. Okay, I am going to pause this for the moment. Obviously you can tell this isn't the end of the video, you can see the timestamps. But I am going to be, on my end, pausing it, and I will be back in a moment for you in a couple hours for me. See you then. Alright, getting back into it. So, to recap. Gleaming Aegis would be pretty good. This fight could just utterly just ruin our day. We probably should try and prep something that will let us manage that, manage the Drakes. I'm really worried about that fight in particular. I do really want this Gleaming Aegis. I think the Purity from it helps a lot. It is theoretically a lot of shield, which is kind of an issue. From these, I don't think any of this really does anything for us. Devour Strike is always good. Let me remind myself, we have one whatever card. Trying to think what other cards we could possibly pick up that would be useful. I mean, mana's not bad, but Gathering Bolt's not bad. Mystic Ritual's okay. Alright, see how it goes. Okay. Let me remember what the heck I'm doing. Just need a Lunar Armor. I think I'm probably going to end up using that here. I'm going to Astral Align. What's top of the deck? Read the Skies. I kind of feel like we need to Starfall here just to get Runic Study up. And then that lets us Starlight, which will draw us a bunch of things, a lot of which we can't actually play. We can do that. And we can pay for that. Seems like a good time to Starlight Reflection. We can't do that another time. But we could trip more wits. I should have checked what was on top of the deck. So focus. Okay. Because then the other question is, what else do we want to do here? Alright. And we can just read for a Sunbolt. Yeah, finishing off that kill seems okay. And then we will start next turn in whatever mode. Okay. What's top of the deck? New moon. All right, I think we have to Starlight here. Although I think doing that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because now we get to Ritual of Runes again. Okay. We don't really need to get too fancy here. There's a more complex play line there that would also be good, but this works out. And then, okay, can we use Nocturnal Insight now? I mean, I think Potent Augury is better. There's potentially the ability to draw us into the things we're looking for. Definitely doing that. I think there's no way we don't end up getting a Sunbolt here, so let's go ahead and grab it. Unfortunately, we are exploding here, so we will lose some of that value we just got done setting up. So where are we at in terms of where's our net? Both of our Resonating Blasts are pretty far down. I don't think it may not be the card pool, and that's a little unfortunate because I would really like to have it. Okay, I think we do need to regrowth that. We do want a Lunar Armor. Let's see. I'm definitely Astral Aligning. And give me a second. All right. Anyway. Let's see. We're definitely changing stance. And we can draw cards? Sure. Let's see. I think we want to Lunar Whispers. I think we do want the cards. And so another thing you'll notice here is that because of the change to Arcane Rune, these guys now do different things, so they can still actually pose a threat on this turn. I'm going to change stance first. This is what I get for not paying enough attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, I really need to change stance first there. Because I need to create a Starlight in order to be able to keep going. Fortunately, this is not the turn that's the most brutal for me to mess up. We still do not have Resonating Blast, but we can fix that. Alright, so we need to reel. I think our best bet here is to Starfall. Do that. And then I think we're going to just Starfall again. Yeah, and now, there we go. Good work. Gathering Vault's not bad. Unstable Focus isn't bad either. It's a lot of mana potentially. I think we want the ability to trip Arcane Detonations. Let's investigate what happened to them. Okay, tough buff, that's okay. We're not taking the penalty to maximum hand size. Takes us down to 7. Can we work with 7 hands cards? I don't think so. I do like the Emergency Fortress though. That seems like a good option to have in reserve. Okay, so what spell will we draw with Potent Augury? We would draw Artillery. I'm totally fine getting that. I think we do want Starlit Reflection here. And we can do this. And I could play that. I also do this. Could get this fortress, but doesn't do anything for me. I guess I am going to play that out. get rid of those exhaustions. Tell you what, let's pop that. I think we do want to focus on killing the big one. Just because it is the more dangerous of the two. And yeah, like, artillery, it does pretty good work. There's a reason I'm keeping it around. I would like to necrotransmute the whatever. Absolutely, we're going to do that again. Alright, I think the play here... There are a lot of things we want to do here. One of them is that we want lunar armor. Although we don't really need it, strictly speaking. And then we do want to change stances. I was on top of the deck. Spine Blast. I do want that, but I need to be able to afford to play it, which I cannot right now. It would be a solid Starfall target, though. And I can just Starfall it again for more damage. Why not? And that gives us so close to this kill. The explosions are annoying. Oof, I didn't realize we were going to explode a second time there. That's fine. This one's going to die, and that's what matters. I'm not a huge fan of this one getting to do this. Alright, we absolutely do not want to regrowth right now. There's no way to get to whatever. Pitch that. Yeah, this all ends up being just very awkward math here. Because I can regrowth it, but then I can't afford it. I guess I just regrowth Pocket Sand so I can get this kill here. That seems bad. It also seems like our only option. I thought our mana problems were behind us, but I was wrong. That's still so mean. And we are super cursed. Or super arcane linked. Although cruelty's not active, so we can actually afford to do this. If we play anything else, well, we're exploding anyway. May as well do that. Let's take one. It's worth it. This is still very good. But I think we would rather have Gleaming Aegis. It's a little unfortunate that this fight was the same fight that it was, because like I wanted both cards there. I wanted the emptiest cards and I wanted whatever. Okay, so after mid boss, I guess we go left here. How much do we care about? I mean, they're not bad. Okay, from these, Manifold Invocation isn't bad. It's not amazing. Let me think. I think I do need the mana, or I just want the mana at least. I think I want to be getting out of this mode. I want Lunar Armor, although I guess I don't, strictly speaking, need it. I have no way to leverage that. I have no way to get shield out of this either. I guess the one bright side here is that I'm not actually exploding. Alright. I can't get to the Reclamating Blast either. Resonating Blast either. Okay, but there is one on top of the deck, so absolutely we want to Starlight if we can. This works out. We can now Starlight. Okay. That doesn't make space in hand, though. That's the problem. And I don't want to play that yet. Oh, but I can. Which ends up being awkward. Means that I don't really get to do everything I do until next turn, but that's fine. I think I'm fine with swapping stances like that next turn. Now let's pop out some of your stuff, and we do need... I have to remember that I have to get those half moons out so I can get the mana boost going. Ah, but we still have tough. Okay. Play out one of those. This is awkward. Although, this works. Because the advantage here is I can do that to bounce off 0. Which gets this back. Which I can then throw at you. You even get Fortress if I wanted it, but that seems silly. We're taking 22. Yeah, we don't actually take anything here. And now we have 2 half moons, so that should keep us in mana boost for the rest of the fight. Alright. Aha, thwarted by our purity. We are too pure for your nonsense. Just play that right now, if we want to. And the reason to do that now would be just to bounce at 0. I think that's worth it. I maybe should have mana cycled it, but maybe not. Where's the... Oh, right, we have to shuffle the deck. And getting back both of those back in before we shuffle is good. I think I want to get at least one of these in before I shuffle. Do I want to swap stance? Yes. Let's trigger Lunar Whispers, because we may as well get some shield going. So the question is, do I want another Lunar card? I think so. I just don't know what this one's going to be until I shuffled, though. So, let's see what that gets me. Okay, that did get me Resonating Blast. In that case, not a lot to work with here. I think we're just going to go for 2 Resonating Blasts. And we'll do the rest next turn. Just double checking Transmute's far enough away that we can't get to it. Yeah, it's literally the bottom card of the deck. Alright, we're going to Starlight Reflection. We may as well go to this form, because we get extra damage here. And then bonk and bonk. And not... Oh, god damn it. I meant to do this. Completely flipped to that. Well. Sequencing Nayema is really hard. This is not a simple character at all. And I am, yes, a simple person at all. So it's a challenge for me. Okay, I think I do still want to just keep building sturdy here, I think. Probably not. I shouldn't, but it is a good way for me to just stay safer. We can draw 4 here. I don't hate that. Okay, we're just drawing 4 here. None of this is spells. What's the top of the deck is a half moon. I'm just going to Starfall for minimal value here just to get out a Runic Study. We're going to half moons. And I do like reclamating the Fortress, just stacking that's pretty good. Just have this just counting up over here. Probably sooner or later it'll matter. Hey, we blocked 4 damage in a single turn. Unfortunately, we are now weak. And more importantly, we're now enfeebled. Okay, where's the Resonating Blast? 30 cards down still. Well, we don't have as much wits as I would like. But we can still have the Strength of the Sun. Which, like I said, not as much wits as I would like, but absolutely still going to do work. We regrowth, we get back Reclamation. Which I don't think does enough for us. I'm just trying to think, because I want to Reclamate. I want to Reclamate so I can get the extra Wits triggers off the Sublime Blast. And I really do like stacking that fortress, so we'll do that. Whoop. And we can actually loop that once, although we do not have a Strength of the Sun for it, which is unfortunate. Not the best time to shuffle, because I would like to get access to these. So I don't know if it's worth playing that. We can get back the Sublime Blast, though, and that would let us redraw it. And Sublime Blast will stay doubled. So it'll keep using up all of our mana boost, but that's totally fine, because it is also giving us so much other value. Oh, but we didn't have any wit, so we didn't actually draw any cards. Just kidding. I lied to you. You can't trust me. I wasn't going to do that, but it does give me the kill, which I think is worth it. We do have to keep getting that mana boost. Sure, I'll go ahead and blow that. Make sure that it reset properly. Okay, yeah, because we are on... There's always a chance it bugs. Alright. So the people are still sticking around along with everything else. We are in the wrong stance. Now, though, we can start out the reflection, which we don't actually want to do quite yet. We want to do it now. And now, so close on damage. This might be enough, probably not. So close. Freeze you. And now we just need anything. Get that last tap in. We'll be able to just like literally Sunbolt for the win here. Just Sunbolt. Get him. Okay. I really like Unstable Blast. It is a way to... It is a cleanse that is going to do AoE damage as well, and that is both things that are good for us. That doesn't do enough for us. Doesn't do anything for us. We don't stack Mighty. That's pretty okay. As far as upgrades here go, this gives us more purity, which I do really like. This gives us... Oh man, I didn't realize this is now just straight up, because this used to go up to 7. Just plus 2 mana and additional percentage. That's all. That's very good. This is reasonable. We could also just upgrade the Runic Study, because we do kind of need those wits, that wit, and it is kind of our wit source. This upgrade is also great, because we just get so many cannons. Infinite cannons. Oh, if you strengthen the Sun and Artillery, which I haven't done yet, but if you saw it in Artillery, you get 6 cannons, which is a reasonable number. That's the right number of cannons. Yeah, we'll upgrade Runic Study, I think. I feel a little silly about cutting the other one, but I stand by the decision. I still am at this point where it's like, I don't think the Gathering Bolt's that good. The Gathering Bolt can go. I don't remember what I passed up to pick up a card that I ended up cutting, but whatever. Not important. I don't really care about any of these, but I think the Evasion's more annoying. So this one, we don't have to deal with that. Okay. We are in Moon mode. It's Lunar Armor. This will get us Pocket Sand. And we have 1 wits, which means this will get us back a Resonating Blast. So we have that going for us, which is nice. It's now 4 mana. Hey, Resonating Blast is actually in the perfect spot. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to actually be able to properly draw it, which... Yes, this works. This actually works out great. We are going to Starlit Reflection, which we're going to use to get wits. And then we are going to Starlight to get those. And now we're in the Sun mode, which means we can sot. We can be sotted. Okay, so first we do that. We regrowth it. We dumpster. And now we have to get through all that evasion, which is annoying. Bit of an anticlimax, but pretty good place to start, I think. This upgrade is probably actually very good. This is an AoE hit, which is nice. Could just solve some of our problems in that sense. More tough and sturdy. Top spell of the deck is going to be our... Oh, it's the other Resonating Blast. Not actually what we want to see most, because we just can't really leverage it, but... Play that out. Now we have lots of half moons, which is so much mana. I kind of want to Sots. We are going to get Starfall. That's actually perfect. I didn't even look at the top card of the deck. I should have. Actually, Starfall is great just because it clears out evasion for us. That's actually a great reason to Starfall. We're going to need to draw cards. So many pieces here that can happen. This is actually, I didn't even think about this, but this is actually how we can spread the rest of that evasion. Okay, so that draws this. Now we want to Sot. We do want to Sots, but we have to... I would Sots the artillery, but, like, the Resonating Blast is so good. Boop. And now we can do that, just cause. Oh, I messed up. That's fine. I meant to get back. Well, we can do this. Oh, no, no, we can't. That's dumb. I'm dumb. Well, it doesn't matter. I tried to get fancy, and I failed, and I ended up brute forcing, and it worked out. But Nargre's great. Happy to have another one. Here we go. Another evasion fight. Just evasion fights all the way down. Can we usefully Sots this becomes the question. I'm going to go with I believe in a thing called love. So we can try. Starfall gets this mana. Starlight we can't use. So we're going to Starfall. We're going to Astral Alignment. We're going to Sots the artillery. Which is going to get us so many cannons. And then we can play that out. And I think the plan here is to try and kill a dragon. And this one was trying to, not that I even realized before I started going, but that dragon was trying to do the thing. We're just going to stand swap twice for value. Nice. 5% pay chance putting in work. All right. Alright. Let's do that. Because then we only need... Actually, I thought it was that we only need one hit to kill that, but... I can't pass up doing just that much raw damage. And I may as well go to moon mode so I can get the extra shield. Now we have a Resonating Blast ready to go for this turn, although I don't know how much we'll be able to leverage it, but we'll see. Weird things happen sometimes. This build draws us a Sublime Blast, which we cannot afford to wit. Now we can, but we are going to start with this because we want to get the whatchamacallit out. We don't actually have any mana boost, which is relatively unusual for us. That's just how things shook out this time. We have no spare mana left. And that gets us the extra damage from being in this mode. Just transform that, I guess. And then gain the fortress so we don't actually have to take any damage here. Or I guess we take 2 damage, whatever. It's irrelevant. Alright. May end up having to just play that. No, we can play that. There we go. Did it. Top card of the deck is Reclamation. Not the most useful thing for us, but... Because now we can Starlight. And we can Starfall. Should have done that first. Whatever. We got him. Look, you don't even really need to know what you're doing for things to work out sometimes. Calculated Deception gives us mana boost and wits, which makes it very tempting to pick up. Also just an okay card to have. Celestial Vision is also very, very good for us. This is a tough choice because I want both of them. I think Calculated Deception is a little more valuable to us right now. This helps us with managing mana boost and wits, which I think we're struggling with. This is very good. If we have this, we could have taken the... Oh, the reason we're seeing repeated cards, by the way, is because I closed and reopened the game. Alright, that's... We'll take more hand space. We have an artillery, which absolutely can always use all the hand space. So yeah, this fight can be tricky because once we get to the right point, stuff hatches and bad things happen to us. Top card legacy, Read the Skies. We have, of course, Win Wit. So I guess we need to Starlit Reflection here. And we do this to get back Pocket Sand. And we do it again to get back Pocket Sand again. And then we could Starlight to draw a bunch of cards, which I do kind of like. I know you're surprised that I said that I like drawing a lot of cards, but it's true. And then we're going to change stances. I think it's worth it to get these out. And we will just Sunbolt. Oh, and that's now fatigued, unfortunately. But we now have 2 half moons, which again is still not a full moon. It's a different card. Right, being frozen is annoying, but we can work with it. Need to get that out first. Oh, missed out on some sturdy there. This is actually an okay time to do that. I do not hate looping it for next turn. This is awkward though, where I want to discard this to this and then play it. But we don't actually need that yet, so we can just prep things. Okay. Again, it is just like all of your buffs are gone. So much for all of our mana boost. There's just nothing we can do about it. And we have no way to get the mana boost back. That's really frustrating. Okay. And I could cleanse myself. I think we're just going to get more Fortress. Take a small amount of damage. Fortunately, again, like I said, the dispel only can happen to us once, even if this fight goes long, but it probably won't go long enough for that to matter. It's just, I have to take what comfort I can. This is not a great time for that either. I guess we can just, like, pop a Sunbolt and then transform it. Because I really do want to get that stuff going, because it lets us turn Sublime Blast on. Which gives us growth, which is nice. The rest of the stuff going on here, less nice. I need to get that out. I guess we just have to kind of do that. And we don't have a great reclamation here. So I think we're just not going to. Boop. Okay. And we are going to freeze when we draw the Nullstone, which is annoying, but just play it out, I guess. What are we going to draw off of that? Artillery, which we can't use. Pass. I'm going to cleanse myself twice, but I don't know that it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah, that one turn where we just lost all of that mana boost that and I had banked on having that mana boost available to us, absolutely throwing me for a loop. Alright, we're going to start Reflection. I could also... This takes up, what? Takes up literally my full hand if I Sawtz it. That's That's not going to work. It would be very funny, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to work out for us. Oh, the other thing I'm seeing, though, is that if I draw cards, I'll be able to transform this into City's Power Stone, which I want to do. So, we're going to Starlight. I probably should have actually done that first. It cursed me. Well, too late now. Transform. Do that. God, I could go even harder on cannons, but that sounds like a really bad idea. When I am already kind of overflowing on cannons. Yeah, that's kind of less climactic, more anticlimactic than I'd hoped, but all right. You can also transform a Worm Fire, which isn't terrible. Now we got 33 damage incoming. 36 once we take down the fortress. All right, we can regrowth that, but that seems bad. Oh, we're in moon mode. I think we need more tough and sturdy. We are absolutely going to spin this on Lunar Whispering, though. Get that back. I kind of feel like just turtling up here. Although, that doesn't actually work out, does it? No, it does not. Well, this is awkward. This seems like an okay time to do that. We now take a lot less damage from you. Still way more than I would like. I still can't afford to play that, really. Play the Shrivels. I want to save this. Well, yeah, because like we can take this damage and like worst case scenario, like we're losing a little bit recoverable here, but like it's not an unmanageable thing. And there's absolutely a scenario where we end up at a place where it becomes unmanageable. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to hedge my bets against. All right. We can vote and agree. We are in star mode. Do I want to be in the other mode? Do I want to... I don't think so. I'm going to be in this mode for now. Although it's occurring to me, I do want to use this on Resonating Glass, probably. And I can draw a card with that. Okay. So here's the plan. We're going to start the Reflection. Oh, I messed up already. God, I'm so bad at this. I think we need a Starlight then. And I need to Reclamate that. May as well do this now. Now I swap stances. Now I read for a Strength. I'm kind of tempted to read that as well. And I probably will. I just have to sequence things right because I have a Starlit Reflection. And yeah, I'm going to Strength the Mana Blot, the Unstable. So that's going to super cleanse us. Oh, but we didn't have enough. I thought we had enough mana boost. We absolutely did not. Oh, that's awkward. Wait. Yeah, which means that we didn't actually get that whole effect. That's really awkward and unfortunate because that was the whole plan. Well. Well, and we can't get this back. But you're dead at least. And I can bury one of you under ice. Can't bury you under ice. Yeah, just do that. Change stances a couple times, pick up some more buffs. Yeah. Yeah, taking more damage here, but like, I will absolutely accept this amount of damage into a Ruby Dragon fight. Like, there are a lot worse ways Ruby Dragon can go. So, alright, we are in star mode. We want to draw some cards. God, imagine how good Nayema would be in the hands of somebody who actually can, like, not totally fumble every time they try and play a card. Wouldn't that be amazing? We actually do want to be in sun mode. And then I could sot, so I think I'm going to. Because that'll do pretty good damage. And draw me some cards. We now have, and we do have enough mana boost for that, so goodbye. Okay. Devourer Strike is not bad. Sanctity is good. Star Atlas, I don't think we can fuel it. I think the Sanctity, I think having that extra card draw is nice. I don't think that's any good. Well, maybe it is actually. No, that's actually good. Because I think we will have fights where we're hitting hard enough for that to do the thing we need to do. This upgrade is awkward because it requires you to transform more things. Otherwise, I would take it. Necrotransmute is not useful to us right now, really. Read Plus is okay. The thing is, like, I hate upgrading to Read Plus because the numbers on it are different, and it messes with me. Regrowth Plus is also pretty good. That just means that we don't have to worry about finding the mana for it. But, come on. Like, more cannons! I can't not take more cannons. And we're just going to assume that everything's fine. I should be cutting cards. I'm not cutting cards. We are fighting Maw, which makes this really valuable to us. It would also make Purging Waters okay. It also makes, like, Turn to Gunk pretty good. So the question is, how much do I need that cleanse? The answer is probably a lot. God, I want this dig through the muck, though. I am going to go through the dig through the muck, and you can't stop me. Like, you can't. If you're watching this video, this is already over. I'm going to probably cut this, though, into another... Because, like, I recorded part 1A, which is already 40 minutes. So altogether, this is over an hour long. So yeah, we'll split this and do a third video, or second video for you guys. I'm going to staple the first two parts together. So I will see you for that next time. Until then, toodles.